I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Play it, shall we?
Okay, let's do it. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I feel so grateful. When I wake up in the morning, I feel so alive. When I wake up in the morning, I feel the spirit. When I wake up in the morning, I'm here to thrive. And so I wake up every day. Wake up, this is what I say. Wake up, I am so free. Wake up, and I'm free to be me. I'm free to be me, yeah. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I count my blessings. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers. When I wake up in the morning, I sing hallelujah. Oh, the presence of the Spirit is always there. And so I wake up every day. Wake up, this is what I say. Wake up, I am so free. Wake up, and I'm free to be me. I'm free to be me, yeah. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I count my blessings. Oh, when I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers. When I wake up in the morning, I sing hallelujah. Oh, the presence of the Spirit is always there. And so I wake up every day. Wake up, this is what I say. Wake up, I am so free. Wake up, wake up every day. Wake up, this is what I say. Wake up, I am so free. Wake up, and I'm free to be. Wake up, yeah. Free, I'm free to be. Free, I'm free to be. Free, I'm free. Wake up, and I'm free to be me. Yeah!
That's Spooky Lee.
That's Bob Baker. Thank you.
So come up with songs more in the shower. That's the lesson.
Thank you, everyone. Mahalo.
Woo! Pookie and Bob, what do you think, huh? Oh, I love you guys. I miss you. Wow. So where do we go from here? Are you awake? All right, ushers, pass out the Reese's Pieces. You know, many years ago when I was, I think about 8, my cousin Mike and I were laying on the front room playing Crazy Eights, right? Kids' game, and he got up and says, "Oh, I'm kind of hungry." So we got up and he went in the kitchen and he came out with this super bag of like 53 Reese's peanut butter cups. Wow, you know? And so we're playing the game, and we're eating them, and we're having a good time. And time goes by, and I looked at the bag, and there's like one left. And I'd had like 3 of them, right? And this was a full bag. And I looked at the bag, and I said, hey, Mike, do you want the last one? And he looks up at me, and he turns green. And he says, I just can't eat anymore. And he gets up, and he runs out of the room. I don't know what happened to him. I do know, but we won't go into detail about that. So Rumi wrote, I said, what about my eyes? He said, keep them on the road. I said, what about my passion? He said, keep it burning. I said, what about my heart? He said, tell me what you hold inside of it. I said, pain and sorrow. He said, stay with it. The wound is the place where the light comes in. And that's the title of our talk today. Ram Dass wrote, healing does not mean going back to the way things were before, but rather allowing what is now to move us closer to God. So my question today is, are you ready to move closer to God? Are you ready to be healed? To really be healed? You know, at that stuff that maybe isn't so fun to face. Are you ready to face that? Are you ready to face your greatest fear? To be your greatest truth, to be your greatest possibility, to be that which Spirit desires for you. You know, we know that healing can increase our happiness. Healing can increase our overall life appreciation and satisfaction. And when we go through the healing process, and maybe you've noticed this, we allow ourselves to move through things that are painful, to let them go and to embrace the fullest that we can be, the fullest that I think Spirit desires for us to be. And we can do this by observing our thoughts, observing our feelings, observing what we're thinking, and then really looking at what is it that isn't working for me in all of this. So today we're going to explore, how can we be healed? However, before we do that, we must be willing. So the question is today, are you ready to be healed? Are you really ready to be healed? Are you really ready? And that's kind of why we're here, isn't it? It's kind of what this movement of unity and New Thought is about. It's about healing that stuff, so that and putting it behind us so we can experience the fullness of what was said in our daily word today by Joanne, to experience the fullness of the kingdom of heaven, which is right here. Jesus said it's right here. It's at hand. It's not in some far-off place. One night in 1977, at the age of 29, after suffering long periods of depression and sadness, Eckhart Tolle said he experienced an inner transformation. That night, he awakened from his sleep in the middle of the night as if he was bolted out of bed. And he started feeling all this depression and all this sadness and all this worry. And he was like, oh my God. But then something, as he said, almost unbelievable happened. And that he was able to embrace the light and let the light shine into his wound. He says, I came to the point where I realized that I couldn't live with myself any longer. He was wounded. By his own admission, he was hurting. He was depressed. He was in sadness. And he was listening to this inner chatter, condemning him and telling him what a lousy person he was and how unworthy he was. Ever have feelings or thoughts like that? And he started listening to this negative chatter. And then he had this awareness that he could bring the light into that wound, that he could literally see that happening, bring that light in. And he could see through the illusion that he was a damaged person. He could see to the truth of who he was, that he was whole and complete and powerful. He saw that. Whew. When he looks at his wound deeply, a light entered. Such a great demonstration for us that we can call the light into our challenges and see them differently. Kind of bring the light, turn the light on. Tolle Eckhart recalls going for a walk in London the next morning, and he said he found that everything was miraculous. Everything was deeply peaceful. He said even the traffic was peaceful. And he said, I continued to feel that feeling until now. This was the beginning of Eckhart Tolle's spiritual journey. He then took all of the learnings that he continues to get and put that into his work that many of us have read, and transformed his life and many others as a result. And it all started with him saying, I can't live with myself any longer. I can't live with that part of myself that's hurting and angry. And he had a huge transformation. Kind of like my cousin said, I just can't eat anymore. Eckhart Tolle suffered, and he looked at the wound, and he let the light in. So there's a great Bible story from Mark chapter 5, verse 25 to 29. And it goes like this. There was a woman who had suffered from hemorrhages for 12 years. She had endured much under many physicians and spent all she had. And she was no better, but grew worse. She had heard about Jesus and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, if I but touch his clothes, I will be made well. Immediately the hemorrhage stopped, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. Jesus said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. This is an amazing story about the healing process. So I'm going to break it down and look at each one of these verses today and look at the metaphysical or the spiritual truth that's within each statement. So the first one says, now there was a woman who had suffered from hemorrhages for 12 years. So 12 years, metaphysically in the Bible, means as long as it takes. As long as it takes to get to that place where we say, that's it. I can't eat anymore, right? I don't like myself the way I am. And we get to the place where we say, I am ready for something different to happen. I am ready to be healed. Yes. And the hemorrhages is what? Bleeding. So blood represents our vital energy, right? It's our physical energy, our spiritual energy. It's our mental energy. And so she was depleted in her energy, which was her body, was in her mind, and her spirit were saying to her, you need healing, girl. You need to do something different. And we too can experience this loss of energy when we need to be healed, when we can be healed. Sometimes we're not ready to be healed. You know, people have said to me, you know, Rev, I'm just not ready to do this work. I'm just not ready to give up this substance or these thoughts or this unforgiveness that I have that I'm holding on to for somebody else because it's working for me. I say bullshit. Right? So, you know, and some people say, I'm not ready to look at my issues right now. Well, if that's you and you're in this room, you're probably in the wrong place. Right? But sometimes we have to get to that place, like my cousin was, to say, I can't eat anymore. Eckhart Tolle said, I just can't live with myself anymore. I can't suffer this way. I can't hold this belief. I can't hold on to unforgiveness anymore. And we got to understand, there's no judgment in this. We all do the healing when the time is right. You know, but after today, you'll know that there's other possibilities, right? And you can choose when to do it or when not to do it, or how deep you want to do it, or what issues you want to work on. Healing comes when we're ready. When we say, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on, God. Bring it on, Spirit. And we will be supported with the love, the wisdom, the truth, and all that we need to know. So the next verse says, she had endured much under many physicians and had spent all she had. And she was no better, but grew worse. So she went and tried all these things. How many of us have reached out here? I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try that. You know, I'm going to try kicking the person next time instead of forgiving them. You know, I'm going to do all this stuff. And so she was doing all this stuff out here, right, and not working on herself in here. And she only became worse. You know, we can experience the transformation when we change our thinking, when we recognize that the thoughts that I'm having aren't working for me, it's time to do something different. Yes. She had heard about Jesus. Now, she's not, metaphysically, Jesus represents what? It's a higher self. It's the Christ within. Right? We call it the Christ, and sometimes these terms are deceiving to people because they think, when they think of the Christ, they think of Jesus, but the Christ is the higher essence, that truth, that power, that spirit, that we could call it the Buddha within us, the life force within us, the energy, the love within us. That's the Christ within. And so she knew, she'd heard about Jesus. She heard of the things that he can do. In the same way, you've heard about the Christ presence. You've heard about what that Christ presence can do, that higher power within you if you desire to access it. And then she said, then the scripture says, and she came up behind him in the crowd. So the crowd represents all those voices that we hear, right? That are saying, oh, no, you can't do this. Oh, you'll never make it work. Oh, this isn't right for you. Oh, this isn't the right time. Oh, it's going to be painful. Oh, it's going to hurt. You know, oh, I don't want to do this. You know, I've been living with this stuff forever. I don't want to let go of all that stuff. But you have to move past all that. All the doubts, all the fears, and just... she was focused. She was focused on that presence that Jesus represented. And she's like, all I got to do is touch that garment. So she was able to get through the crowd. And she touched his garment. And she said, but if I but touch his clothes, I will be made well. Just touching his clothes. Right? Just touching the idea, just touching his essence, just touching the truth that he wore and that he talked about. And she was made well. So it's about taking action. It's about saying affirmations. It's about following our thoughts and our words and choosing to be different. I am healed at depth as I touch the divine within me. Whisper that with me. I am healed at depth as I touch the divine within me. Breathe into that. Immediately, her hemorrhage stopped. And she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. As soon as she took action, she began to be healed. We too can be healed when we put our focus on the presence of God, on the presence of that Christ within, that love within, that higher self within. In that moment, when we make that choice, things happen. Right now, when we make that choice, things happen. When you make that choice, you're going to shift in that moment. You may not experience your healing altogether in that moment, but you're going to make progress towards that healing. And I have to say too that sometimes the healing that we experience may not be exactly what we want. You know, I've prayed with people who were dying, who were really sick, right? And they're like, I want to be healed. And it's like, I know. And we're going to pray for the highest possibility for you. But what often is healed is our relationship with our illness. Right? Because if we are angry at our illness, we're adding to the energy of it, right? We're angry with our illness, we're hurting ourselves. If we can love even the things that are hurting and say, you know, I love you. You're not the ideal thing for me, but I love you. I love me. This is part of my experience right now, to be in that place of love. Love heals. Jesus said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well." What made her well? Was it Jesus? No, it wasn't Jesus. Oh, for God's sake. You know? That's what we've been taught, most of us, right? It's the faith. Jesus said it right there. How come people forgot about that, right? It's the faith that heals us. It's the knowingness. It's the practicing of truth. It's the holding the high watch. It's about loving ourselves. Yes. Right? Yes. Jesus did not perform the healing. So interesting. He had his back turned. He was talking to the crowd, right? And she touched his clothing. She didn't even touch him. As if the writer of this was obviously saying, it's not Jesus. It's that belief, that knowingness that we can access that Christ self. And a lot of that is about opening our hearts and just allowing ourselves to be in that space. So let's invite you to just breathe for a moment. Robin's going to sing a chant for us. And I invite you just to go along with this chant, and then we'll go right from this chant into meditation.
I open my heart to the light. breathe. I breathe. I open my soul to the healing. I open my soul to the healing. I receive. I open my ears to the word. I open my ears to the word. And I know, yes, I know that all is well.
I invite you to close your eyes and take that journey inside into that place where spirit lives within you. Into that place where you are aware of this light. Breathing in and breathing out. And to ask yourself, what am I willing to heal today? What am I finally ready to let go of? Perhaps your 12 years are up. Perhaps you're willing to release feelings of not being loved, of not forgiving yourself or another. Perhaps you're ready to stop being hard on yourself, to stop blaming yourself or others. Breathing in, I invite you to hold in your awareness that which you're willing to release today. And you might even imagine that you're setting whatever this is into the arms of your higher self. And just let yourself relax and be ready to be healed. You might be aware of the crowd of thoughts, and to focus your attention between them. Push them away and only follow the thoughts that lead you to the truth of who you are. Imagine that you enter a chamber of light within you. Just by becoming, or just by coming into the awareness of your higher self, your healing has begun. By reaching out and touching this divine idea, your healing has begun. What is a truth that you can know about yourself around what your higher self desires for you? that you're well, that you're happy, that you're powerful, beautiful, worthy. I am healed at depth as I touch the divine love within me. As soon as she took action, the woman was healed. We too can experience healing when we put our focus on connecting with the presence of God, of the Christ, of our higher self. And that presence within you is changing your thinking, opening you up to a greater awareness of that which desires to be expressed as you. And feel what it feels like when you are healed. Imagine what that will feel like. To be free, to be vibrant, to be alive, to be powerful, to be exuberant, to be happy, to be peaceful. And let's take just a moment and spend a short time in the silence, knowing that Spirit is doing the work right now. Breathing in and breathing out. Begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. And then I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "As my sufferings mounted, I soon realized that there were two ways in which I could respond to my situation. Either to react with bitterness or seek to transform the suffering into a creative force. I decided to follow the latter course. Healing is embracing what is most feared. Healing is opening to what has been closed. Healing is softening to the things that have become hard. Healing is learning to trust life. It's been said that time heals all wounds. The truth is, time doesn't heal anything. It merely passes. It's what we do during the passing of time that helps or hinders the healing process. Healing may not be so much about getting better as about letting go of everything that isn't you. All the expectations, all the beliefs, and becoming the truth of who you are. Rumi said, don't turn away. Keep your gaze on the bandaged place. That's where the light enters you. I am healed at depth as I touch the divine within me. And so it is.
I love the talk today. It was off the chain. So great to reconnect with Reverend Blaine. Welcome abundance, and you'll get enough unless you eat 53 Reese's peanut butter cups, buttercups, 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 buttercups. You got it when I hit that little repeating thing. Just sing along with me. Here we go. We heard about darkness and Eckhart Tolle. We all have an awakening story. Your greater yet to be will be revealed. But are you ready to be healed? To be healed, to be healed, to be healed, to be healed, to be healed. When the pressure's on, what's in store? It's time to shout out, I can't eat anymore. What is it? I can't read my writing. It's the faith that heals you. Don't you see? It's time to celebrate the divine in me. In me, divine in me, divine in me, divine in me, divine in me. I think it's a hit on Maui too. What do you think?
Of course you are, babe. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, I had to describe it to Blaine in a text and said, it goes over well.
He's like, huh? Never done that before.
All right.
Yeah. So we've written a lot of music, babe, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes.
And we write music a lot about love, because love is the ultimate healer, right? And so the song that we're going to share is all about letting life shine in, and it's so perfect. Isn't that just crazy how that all works? It's like so perfect to the message today. I mean, how could we even know that? All right, so this is an opportunity for us to kind of button up the talk with a really nice little song that allows you to experience healing.
It's bright outside, but I close the blinds, stay in my room, locked in my mind. But then one day, I realize it's time to go outside
And let love shine in, embracing my soul from within. Let love shine in, and let my healing begin.
We didn't change any lyrics, those are all there all along. When I get scared, I'll run and hide, say to myself, keep it all inside. And then one day, I see what's true and know just what to do.
And let love shine in, embracing my soul from within. Let love shine in, and let my healing begin.
Sing along now.
And let love shine in, embracing embracing my soul from within. Let love shine in and let my healing begin. Let love shine in. Let love shine in. Let love shine in. Let love shine in.
Okay, so we sang two different parts here, and we're going to layer them on top of each other. And I'm going to ask this part of the room right here in front of me to go. We're going to go back to the chorus. So you follow me on that earlier chorus. How about that side of the room? Follow Pookie on that thing that we just did. Let's see what they sound like together. Ready?
Ready? Here we go.
Let love shine in, embracing my soul from within. Let love shine in, and let my healing again. Let love shine in, embracing my soul from within. Beautiful. Let love shine in, and let my healing begin. Back to the chorus.
Let love shine in, embracing my soul from within. Let love shine in, and let my healing begin. You guys, we love it when you sing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bob Baker and Pookie Lee, we're so blessed. Thank you. One more time for them.
Actually, we're going to play an extra song in just a little while, so yeah. So we're going to hang out. Go ahead and do your thing.
We'll give you the stage.
I guess this goes about here. You know, our daily word today talked about prosperity and that we're connected to an infinite source. And I think that's really the message that I get. You know, Bob and Pookie get to come here to Hawaii, and while they're experiencing a wonderful Hawaii vacation, they get to share what they love to do. And we're prosperous. We come here and they're here blessing us with the music. So the point is that we're connected to an infinite source. And I think that's one of the most important things that any church can express. That's one of the reasons that I come. And we're at to the point now where we share our prosperity and we acknowledge what a blessing it is to have a church and a community like this that expands our consciousness, that's there for us when we need the healing, when we need to hear the truth, when we need to hear the highest thought. And so we're going to do the offering. We're going to give what we feel called to give back to that from our prosperity, from that infinite prosperity that blesses us. We give something to support this Unity Church on Maui, which is such a blessing. So you can donate by, we're going to pass the basket in a minute here, but we also have other resources for the people online. You can certainly go to our website, unityonmaui.org, and there's a donate button right there. Or if you're old school and want to write a check, the mail still works. So Unity on Maui is at 483 South High Street in Wailuku, 96793. And we give thanks for all the gifts that come into Unity on Maui right now. We know that they are transforming into our ministry and staff and equipment and new technology and all manners of ways that Spirit is expressing as we grow and be of greater service to humanity at this time in history. And as we give, we catch the feeling that our desires are met. And we know that it is so. So that's why we got this awesome little offering prayer here to remind us of the truth. So if you'll just say this along with me about our offering, that Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing infinite supply. And they're going to give us a little more music here while the basket passes, I believe.
We're going to noodle a little bit while you're, waiting for the Brinks truck to pull up for the offering.
And thank you for giving, because it's when we give that we truly receive, right? And we have to trust in God, that God's going to provide for us. And so, the support to support your church and this place, this beautiful place on this beautiful island, your magnificent minister, and all that goes into all that happens here, and so when you offer your kokua, when you offer your help, it shows that you believe in what's being done here, and it matters to you, because it does. It matters to many people. There are people on the live stream right now that can't be here, right? But they're sending money in. I can see it. All right, let's just close our eyes for a minute and just let's see all the money flowing into all the baskets and all the money coming in the mail and all the support for all of the things that we need so that we can keep this as a thriving community here in Maui, as a beacon, as a light of the presence of God and what God can do through a small gathering of souls. See, it's not about the big numbers. It's about what we can do as a small community. How can we offer our help? Because it matters. We all matter. And our gifts are the most important thing that we give. So maybe we should pass the bucket around again.
I like the way you think. So you're getting extra music today. This is our last song, though. And I think you played part of the song last Sunday. Did I hear you? Okay.
Are we ready for that, or is there anything else that needs to be done?
I think it's time.
Okay, so you got to see a little. If you were here last week, and I hope you were, then you got to see a little bit of this song, but you didn't get to see it all. So we can't have that happening. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah, she's gonna need room for this one.
Oh yeah, you could have left that there because I'm gonna be moving.
It's called My Little Secret, and you'll. Pretty much Pookie's signature song.
I love this song so much. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I have a secret I haven't told you. It's my superpower and it's so easy to do. When I walk in the world, it bubbles up inside. And before I know it, my smile I can't hide. When I smile at you, I tell you, I may not even know you, but I know that I love you. And if you smile too, you say that you love me, you say you love me too. My little secret, you now know. Don't be shy, just let your love flow. The best way to start is to open up your heart. Hold your head up high, feel the love inside. When I smile at you, I tell you, I may not even know you, but I know that I love you. And if you smile too, you say you love me, you say you love me too. And on the inside, and before you know it, and on the outside, I'm smiling at you. So if you see me smiling, you know what to do. Just open up your heart and say, When I smile at you, I just love you. I may know you, but I love you. And if you smile, you say me too. Oh, this love, oh, this love, oh, this love, it's smiling at you. Oh, this love, oh, this love, oh, this love, say you love me too. When I smile at you. Aloha, how you are so.
I get the feeling she's a little happy about this. I don't know, just that intuitive feeling I get. Okay, well, let's see. Al and Kailani are still standing here with the basket, so it's time to receive this and bless this offering and thank the loving Spirit. And we're so thankful for these gifts that come to us in love. And we know the energy of prosperity and the love is moving through this ministry across the island and out into the world. We see a world filled with love and prosperity and peace. Thank you, loving Spirit. Thanks for everyone who does service here, Al and Kailani, Garrett back there on the music, the video, the staff, everybody that helps put all this together. They come together to give us this blessing. And who the heck am I? I'm Adam. Okay, I'm... No, I wasn't for applause. It was just to let you know why I'm up here. I'm the podium meister in training because we're actually going to let Reverend Blaine off the leash for a couple of weeks so he can go holo holo and have his adventures. So I'm here up here training to see if I can get through all this. And thank you. And so we're at the announcement section. So let's see what we got. We got our flowers. And Mike said that he brought us some weeds to dedicate to his dad. So thank you for that, Mike. And if you'd like to sign up to bring flowers on a Sunday, there's a sign-up sheet on the back table. So you just pick a date and tell us who you're honoring. And then the really cool part is you even get to take the flowers home. At the end of the day, no point in them sitting here all week. So you can bless us with the flowers, and then you can bless yourself with them as well. We have a compassion team. That's another wonderful way to reach out to people. Our Unity on Maui compassion team is building community by visiting people and bringing flowers, providing rides, offering friendship, just being a good, kind human being like we are. And you can be the light in someone's day, and you see it in their eyes that when you really make that difference. So if you're interested in being part of that compassion team, you can call Joy at, I guess that number's on here, 269-3899, or Kailani at 796-6417. The call operators are standing by. So you can be compassionate. Sorry, radio background. What can I do? All right, and then we have the Get Found. It used to be called Get Lost way back, but we decided to make it a little more positive. So Mike Fleener kind of helps steward these Get Found activities, and usually there's some in here and there's some out there. So the next one coming up is the Sound Bath Meditation with Carrie Sawyer, and that's going to be on Saturday. That would be, I guess, next Saturday, the 4th, from 4 to 5 here. And anything to add? And bring a yoga mat if you're one of those young, flexible people that actually likes to sit on the floor. The rest of us will probably be dragging a chair over to be comfortable, but that's what it says here. I don't know about you, but the older I get, the floor gets further and further away. I don't know how it does that, but it is so far down there now. Okay, so that's a sound bath and meditation next Saturday, 4 to 5. And then if you want to go have some real fun and hula hula out on the road, They're going on a trip to Kipahulu, a service trip. So I guess they'll be doing some service as well. That's February 17th through 19th. So they're taking a few days there to go do that. They'll carpool to the site. There'll be tent camping on cots, okay, not yoga mats, but cots in a cabin. And you can call Mike Fleener, the trip leader, if you want more details on that, or he's right in the back of the room, so you can just jump him at the end of the service. He's 808-866-8622. Okay, next announcement. The Thursday noon meditation is still going to be happening. Kealoha will be leading that for the next couple of weeks. And that starts at noon. It's a 30-minute meditation every Thursday from noon to 12:30, and that's right here at Unity Church, right? Okay. And next Sunday, because Reverend Blaine's on the road and having a wonderful adventure of his own, Kailani Jackson will be our guest speaker next week. So get to hear another point of view and another message. All right. And if you want a copy of today's talk, the Reverend Blaine is always nice enough to actually print up a hard copy so you can take it home with you and go, what did he say? What was that thing again? And why did it impact me so much? You know, because sometimes you're half out of your body when you're hearing it. So anyway, he prints up a hard copy for us, and that's right on the back table. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape. If everybody would stand now, we'll wrap this puppy up here with a prayer and a song, the way we always do. So we've got our prayer of protection. So let's all say this together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So, thank you.
Where I live, they're all raised.